There has to be a new value equation for business. Business has been superb at specifics like we know how to sell opening a new factory, or we know how to introduce a new product. We know how to meet the legal rules. We know how to do transactions, and we certainly know how to play the inside game, whether it's in Brussels or Washington. And God knows we know how to get shareholder value. I think the next phase for business has to be a supplementary set of goals, which include selling a macro picture, why it's good for society, why it's socially acceptable what we're doing. That we not only have transactions, but understanding that we play the outside game, not just the inside game, and that we go for shared value, the Michael Porter concept from HBS. And I think that all of you in this room who are CEOs have to become chief engagement officers, that you have to establish context for forward progress, why it's, again, good for society, and that, in fact, you're going to use your employees and your experts to make the case for you. You can't do it yourself.
Sustainability is integrated into every single thing we do, our actuarial function, investment function, our health and wellness programs, and our internal operations. We recently adopted a set of investment beliefs that addresses long-term thinking and both the responsibility and advantages of being a long-term investor.
CEOs felt under pressure for the short-term earnings. We got to get the quarterly earnings, we got to drive that forward. Yes, the social responsibility is a good thing to do, but no one seems to really recognize that, at least in my time frame. CEOs actually were feeling pressure from their asset managers in particular to be short-term, but also from their boards. What shocked us a bit was 63% of the CEOs, we interviewed 1,000 of them, felt they were getting pressure from their boards to be short-term.
If we really wanted to end some of this short-termism, why are we reporting every quarter? I don't really get it. And every time I raise that, people say, you know, the predictable folks crop up and say, oh, that's reducing transparency. That's the opposite of what you should be talking about. But if we really thought about it, is it really necessary to go through all of that 4 times a year? I fundamentally just don't think it is. There's other things we could do. If people are interested, companies could certainly keep sort of information out there. You just watch that as an executive and intuitively you say, doing this twice a year would be better than 4 times a year. And I better communicate if I've got other news to share that can't wait for the 6 months. That's obvious. Long-term in our industry was 10 years ago, a decade ago. The innovation cycle is so fast now and disruption is coming so fast. If you sit there and plan for 10 years, pause for a moment and think what our industry looked like in 2004.
Crazy.
And that piece of paper is going to be worthless 3 to 4 years into the mission. So I've been saying to our board, guys, how we think should be tied to what we think the length of the innovation cycle is, not some construct of time that we created in our head looking backwards.